Waniska, 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 Waniska.
One of the main reasons we wanted to start the community garden. We see it as a stepping stone, if you will, to other food production and processing business opportunities. But at the same time, obviously, the whole idea of growing vegetables, produce to help our band members, both living in the city and on the reserve. That was, a big part of why we started the community garden initiative. But again, like I said, we see it as a stepping stone to other business opportunities in food production and processing.
Well, my role at the community garden is just being there, being committed to the earth, being committed to motivating our nation's youth and elders, Katea, to start digging into the earth and getting the soil in your hands and just taking that back to start growing our own food again, like we did. Looking into the future of the land by our Petro-Canada, um, and tapping all tapping energy and life back into that land so that we can grow our own food and feed our people. Food sovereignty, food security.
The whole idea is to try to encourage as many of our, younger generations to become more self-reliant and again, like I mentioned, also trying to pass along knowledge, from our older people to our younger generations.
Elders bring a wonderful perspective to our youth, a calming perspective and knowledge that, can be passed down. So many good things, putting your hands in that soil, smelling the soil, working with the soil. I always think that's you're closer to creator, when you do those things. Um, that is Mother Earth, right?
My name is Mia Benjaji Assiniboine, and I am 11 years old, and I'm in grade 6.
My name is Jaden Badger, and I'm in grade 6. And I am 11 years old.
My name is Raiden Barrow Chapois, and I am 11 years old, and I'm in grade 6.
I had fun doing probably the corn and the cabbage.
Picking up the tomatoes. Oh, finding the watermelons. The other thing I didn't know is about like digging gardens and stuff.
The cabbage is like almost like digging a dirt hole, and it was really cool to pick out. And the corn, it was like fun looking to see if it's like good or bad.
I didn't know that green peppers were grown.
Well, there's a difference between a store and a garden where we could just pick from a garden and we buy from a store. It was a good experience for the first time.
One thing I do love about working with students is just building that connection with them, helping them with their studies, and then helping them progress in their academic life and just building those connections because I find building those connections with them, they're really they really open up to you in ways that I don't think they're opening up to other people that are in their life. And to me, I think that's very important because I just want to be that support system for them, not just an educational assistant, but an actual support system for these students. And I really love it. I love my job. One thing I enjoyed the most was just watching them pick the food from the garden and then just the enjoyment that I seen. It was visible that day. And not only that, it was just nice to treat them to something good, a good thing like picking at a garden that day and looking at like the happiness on the kids, the joy that they felt and also trying something new. I don't think they've ever tended at a garden. I don't think they've ever did anything like that. So I think it was just new experiences, something new. And I think they really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed it too. So I grew up with gardens with my mom. And so I hope they really kind of got that feeling too.
They were all just like in awe that this was their land. That I said, anytime you're traveling through this territory, know that you can come here, you can come and weed the garden, look at plants, or just enjoy a little picnic with your family and know that this is the land we secured for you for your future. This is your space. This is your garden. This is your food.
Those of us that grew up and in the 60s and 70s, 50s and 60s, we all had to help with the family gardens. Virtually every family had a family garden, and as I mentioned to different people, it was almost like forced labor, but we did learn some gardening skills. Most of us, I shouldn't say most of us, many of us lost those skills, but a lot of people like Val and several others retained those skills, and now we're fortunate to have those people, pass along some of that history and some of that knowledge.
Our food sovereignty, our mother and father grew a really nice garden back in the Ochapowace First Nation. And I remember how much work it was. But as a family, it wasn't so big. Took turns hoeing hoeing the garden. And then there was potatoes, turnips, and cabbages, and carrots, and celery, and mom even had these beans, white beans, and there's probably a number of other things that she grew there as well. And I remember a residential school. Uh, one of the ladies was making commentary. Well, why are you here? You're here because you were starving at home. You didn't have food at home, and that was just so far from the truth. Because they'd store that food in the basement of the house, and we'd have garden products all winter long, and that was so good. Especially the turnips and carrots, turnips and peas together with a little bit of love that mom put into it. We were I never seemed really really hungry at home. So when I thought about this lady, our supervisor at school, I thought she doesn't really know anything about what we do at home. Now the garden is part of our life, and our neighbor Lester and their family seen that garden and seen either my dad or my brothers, my sisters nurturing that garden as a community of family family garden. Man, that food is so good.
Without the support of National Circle, I don't believe our community garden initiative would have got off the ground this year. I do see this organization really benefiting our First Nations when it comes to anything related to agri-food business opportunities. So certainly I see National Circle for Indigenous Agriculture and Food being a very valuable support system for the nations that want to go into any agri-food opportunities.
Ooh, that's a big water.